Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. In our top stories in this edition of the news, life and activities have been grounded in the two Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon. A 10-day lockdown has been imposed by pro-independence fighters, fighting, of course, to restore the independence of the former Southern Cameroons. But the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson René Emmanuel Sadi says the situation is not deteriorating and that government is in control of the situation on the ground. And also in this newscast, we will show you the ugly face of urban disorder here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Out of the country, outgoing Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika asks for forgiveness from the citizens of his country after stepping down following pressure from the population who have been on the streets. Activities have been grounded in the two Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon, the northwest and the southwest regions hit by a deepening socio-political and security crisis for close to 3 years today. The pro-independence fighters have imposed a 10-day lockdown, seriously curtailing the movement of persons and vehicles as well as motorbikes in the two Anglophone regions of the country. Yesterday, there was commotion and confusion in some towns, including Boya, as some inhabitants were running to the park to travel out of the hit areas or the areas hit by the crisis in the two Anglophone regions of the country, while others were rushing to purchase some foodstuffs to store in their houses. Smanjik and Gabriel has more.
Boya, Southwest Regional Capital, Wednesday. It was a busy road as most of the inhabitants flee away from the town after getting an information about an imminent lockdown by separatists. The battle to leave the town continued right up to late in the night as people could still be seen attempting to leave the town. In the early hours of Thursday, the major streets in Boya were deserted with just the sound of birds heard. Very few persons could be spotted moving along the roads, with most business premises shut down, no movement of private or public vehicles alongside taxis. Even though reports said that as the day went older, circulation was witnessed timidly and the great supermarket was effective as people went about their normal activities. If Boya was very quiet, Limbe was different as activities were going on normally with private cars and taxis alongside commercial motorcycles seen plying the streets. It was the same atmosphere that we met at one of the markets in Limbe, with business persons going about their normal activities. Security has, however, been beefed up in Limbe as the Festival of Arts and Culture, Festac, draws near. Separatist fighters had declared a 10-day lockdown in Fako Division as a result of the Festival of Arts and Culture in Limbe, dubbed Festac.
And the 10-day lockdown effectively started today, and the pro-independence ideologies have vowed that the Limbe People's Festival will not hold as a result of the deepening Anglophone crisis. And of course, the 10-day lockdown is effective in the two Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon, and facts and figures streaming into our newsroom indicate that the situation has continued deepening over the years, but government says the situation is under control. Take a listen to this extract of the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, Rene Emmanuel Sadi.
The government wishes to reiterate that the security situation in the Northwest and Southwest regions is not deteriorating at all, but on the contrary is gradually getting under control by the National Defense and Security Forces. The government therefore reiterates its call for the seriousness, objectivity, and sense of responsibility of our humanitarian partners, be it Human Rights Watch or others, in their assessment of facts and realities, but more so for a better understanding and judicious consideration of our current challenges, as well as our imperatives of unity, peace, and social cohesion, if they intend to remain credible to us and preserve their relations with Cameroon. The government, on its part, will continue to work resolutely and with determination for the final restoration of peace in the Northwest and Southwest regions, while emphasizing the virtues of dialogue, tolerance, and forgiveness, as evidenced by the many measures of appeasement, absolution, and direct involvement of the population in the management of matters affecting them, constantly taken by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya.
In the report coming up next, Immaculate Fogwe takes us to Beto in the east region of the Republic of Cameroon, and she's going to be talking about the problem of inadequate electric energy supply, a problem that is affecting several parts of the country, from the big cities right into the hinterlands. Some parts of the country have not had electricity for several years today. Immaculate Fogwe.
Frequent blackouts in the east region of Cameroon is having negative impact on businesses and equally on the quality of life of those living in the region. I am a welder. My job requires constant energy. For 3 days now, we have been affected by blackouts. The situation has influenced my business. The problem of frequent blackouts pushed some inhabitants of Dimako, Baturi, Jang, Etunsam, and recently Belabo to the streets, manifesting against the phenomenon. In the Dumentang subdivision, some of the elites have opted for solar energy as a means of addressing the problem. In a bid to curb this problem, construction works on the Lompanga Embankment Dam have been relaunched. Works on this dam had been halted because of inadequate finances, as explained by Theodore Sangu, Director General of the Electricity Development Corporation, who visited the site. Inadequate finances was the major cause of the halt. The problem has now been tackled. Works can now kickstart without any setback. The Chinese company in charge of construction works have promised to follow the deadline given to them for the completion of the project. Construction works were halted because of some problems, but now the issues have been resolved. We will try our possible best to respect the deadline. The power plant is expected to provide 30 megabytes of energy upon completion to some 150 localities, covering some 10,000 households in the East region, which is presently being lighted by solar energy.
Security forces have arrested an alleged trafficker of Indian hemp in the southwest regional capital, Boya, and the man was arrested at Miselele on his way to Edinau with marijuana. Interrogated about the herbs he was transporting them. He said he was transporting them to food to be sold in Edinau. And of course, he was arrested by security forces in the Misselili. Here's an extract of the alleged trafficker. Take a listen.
We're gonna use it for because now we use it for shrine feet to give that the sick of shrine. That's why we use it. No matter how the quality is, because I have a poetry that I'm using here to treat the tin of shrine of pity.
That was the alleged trafficker of Indian herbs arrested by security forces. I told you in the headlines, and now we're going to show you the ugly face of urban disorder, a serious problem that has become hard not just too difficult to crack by public authorities in the town of Douala. For me, Armstrong Sander has more.
Ndokoti roundabout, which is one of the biggest road junctions in Central Africa, is paradoxically the heartbeat of urban disorder in the city of Douala. A stranger to the Ndokoti roundabout will think that he or she is in a market, as every little space or surface is occupied by traders. Every item is bought and sold in Ndokoti, from dresses, shoes, food, drugs, electronics, and many more. This combination of everything has, however, provoked extreme urban disorder and heightened traffic congestion. Patience is a value to inculcate by everyone visiting or passing through Ndokoti, be it at night or during the day, as traffic congestion is a common feature of the Ndokoti road junction. Road users and traders say they are used to it. Some traders say the lack of jobs and difficulties to find a shop in a market in the city of Douala is what has pushed them to illegally occupy available spaces in Ndokoti. To this trader, one needs at least 500,000 francs CFA to be able to rent a shop in a market in the city of Douala, which many people cannot afford. Motorbike owners complain that some individuals intentionally block the roads with their vehicles, provoking a high traffic congestion. In addition to the human causes is the strategic location of the Ndokoti roundabout. It is the only road junction in Douala from where you can travel to all the subdivisions of the economic capital. Ndokoti roundabout is also the main entry and exit point of the Basai industrial zone. Several actions have been taken by competent authorities in the city of Douala to fight urban disorder and free the Ndokoti roundabout from the phenomenon. As if all went in vain, the displaced traders have re-established their businesses in Ndokoti, even on larger scales. Banditry has also taken refuge in Ndokoti and is not ready to go anytime soon. Road users have no choice but to waste time, money and resources each time they choose to travel through the Ndokoti roundabout in Douala 3 subdivision, which is unique only to itself.
Out of Cameroon, outgoing Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika has asked his country for forgiveness in a letter published by the Algerian Press Service. The president, who has been in power for 20 years, said he was proud of his contributions but realized he had failed in his duty. He added that he was leaving the political stage with neither sadness no fear for Algeria's future. His resignation on Tuesday came after 6 weeks of anti-government protests, and last week Algeria's Army Chief Lieutenant General Ahmed Gaid Salah had called for his resignation, and in a letter, the 82-year-old president expressed his gratitude for the signs of affection and respect from his dear sisters and brothers. And of course, Mr. Bouteflika also implored Algerians to remain united and never succumb to division after his resignation. And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Coming up next, Talking Point. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us in Talking Points. We are receiving Charlotte Cheche. She is a hope bearer coming all the way from the United States of America. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're a hope bearer, and we're going to be talking about sickle cell, which is a serious health problem in our society today, sometimes attributed to witchcraft, attributed to some supernatural happenings and so on. And many people have practically become hopeless as far as this health problem is concerned. But you are a mother of 2 children who suffered, put it in the past tense, because now they have been cured, suffered from a sickle cell. Can we share your experience? Can we share your story?
Okay, my story is this. I had 2 kids with sickle cell, and one had a bone marrow transplant. It's been 9 years, and the second one just had a bone marrow transplant. It's been 8 months. So having those kids, I know what parents are going through, because I was in their shoes and I know the pain that they are going through. So having those kids is very hard on parents mostly, and financially, and health issues. So they hope that
what are some of the challenges that parents who have children suffering from sickle cell go through?
Okay, the challenges with kids with sickle cell, they go through a lot of pain, bone pains and joint pains, and they are mostly in the hospital all the time because of this disease. And most of the parents does not know how to handle this situation. Most of the time they think that is witchcraft, it's just something that happened, it's just a bad luck, but it's not a bad luck. It's a disease that is through it's a genetic.
It's mainly hereditary.
Yeah, it's hereditary and it's genetic. It comes from dad and mom. That usually they are AS, and they are both are AS. So you can have kid with AS or AA or SS, and when it happens, usually we have to cancel. We have to cancel couple before they get married.
All right, we're going to be coming to that shortly.
Okay.
That is talking about prevention,
Yes.
how to prevent that. But first, tell us, how did you manage to handle your children right up to the stage where they are today?
Okay, the management was just every time
Taking care of them every day.
Yeah, make sure that they drink a lot of water, good feeding, good food to nourish them, because usually they need a lot of vegetable, a lot of water, because with the water it flush their system, because that's what is the problem with those kids. So make sure that they eat well and good food, and make sure that when they are sick, the next thing is just to take them to the hospital, and so that they can have the treatment that they deserve.
All right, now let's talk about how they were cured. You were talking about bone marrow transplant some few seconds ago.
Yeah, so they were cured. What happened with bone marrow transplant is not like a medication that you take and you get healed. It's a bone marrow transplant, and because before having the bone marrow transplant, you have to get one of the siblings, which need to be compatible to be able to give to the siblings that is a sickle cell patient. But I have one that one of the siblings was the donor. But this last one didn't have a donor in the family, so fortunately we had a donor from Brazil that came and just give the bone marrow to the patient, and after the bone marrow he left. So we were just fortunate to be in that situation.
All right. So, but that should be quite expensive. I talked with a medical doctor who told me that that is not yet practiced in Cameroon. That should be quite expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive over there, but most of the time kids that lives in America have insurance, which the insurance cover. But I'm working with another association here that have the possibility to go to India to have to receive that same treatment, because we have many cases that they are coming, and our goal is to register those kids with sickle cell, and parents that can afford the medical bill, and in India we can make sure that they go there and receive the cure if they can afford the expenditure over there.
I believe from what you're saying, you're rekindling hope in some parents who are listening to us now and who may have children suffering from sickle cell. But what is expected of them if they really have to benefit from your help so that they can get cured in India or in the United States, as you indicated? What is expected of them? How should they go about meeting you and so on? Okay,
I have some website and some phone number. The website is sicklecellcameroon.org, www.sicklecellcameroon.org, that they can go through. And I have some phone number that I can give to them. Is to contact us is 677-88-10-45.
What is expected of them?
They expect
finance and otherwise?
The finance when our foundation, because I have already a foundation in US and I have another one. I'm working with one so that we can be able to help those kids. The expectation is like $17 million just when we refer you, and we can go in more details when you contact us. We are not taking any money. We just refer you to that hospital in India that has been able to help those kids that the parents are more wealthy.
There is hope.
Yes, there is hope.
Now, prevention. It is often said prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
Whether couples, whether individuals who will be getting married tomorrow, what are they expected to do to prevent having children with sickle cell?
Oh, I encourage all the couples that wanted to get married to make sure that they get their tests done, electrophoresis, so that they wouldn't be in this situation, because we can avoid it. Because when you love once, you can love 100 times. So instead seeing your kid suffering, I advise, and most of the time I prefer in the hospital that when the child is born, they can screen the child to see if it's a sickle cell, so that they can start a treatment for those kids, instead waiting, and after 5 years, after 3 years, they realize that it's a sickle cell. So I will encourage all the young couples that they are getting married to get the test, electrophoresis, to make sure that they know what group they are, because you can be AA, AS, or SS to avoid this situation.
And this is a serious concern, because many people do not even know about the test. Yeah. Some know about this, but they don't care about going for it, except in some religious or Christian denominations, like the Apostolic Church, that I know very well, where it is one of the prerequisites to get married. When you want to get married, the marriage committee will tell you you must go for this test and bring the results for us to know. So could you emphasize more on the importance of this, so that those who don't know, or those who are hearing about it for the first time, can really weigh the importance?
What I would really encourage people to do, because it's not just it that is a problem. Because when you are getting married, you always ask your partner, can we go and make sure that each other are seropositive or HIV? That's the same thing you have to do to avoid those kids with sickle cell. Because the community need to encourage that test to be done before you get married, to avoid the situation that a lot of parents are living into. Because that's that sometimes they don't know. But I encourage every couple to make sure that they do the test as they do the HIV test, just to do electrophoresis to make sure that they are compatible to get married.
And when they discover that they're not compatible, the marriage is cancelled?
I will really emphasize that and encourage couple that if we realize that you are AS, I'm AS, I will say, that's what I say, you love one time, you can love many times. Instead, seeing your kids suffering, because it's so painful for mom and dad that those kids are going through.
All right, the last word before we go?
Okay, the last word is just encourage parents. And right now I have clinic that I'm working with. That's why I would like everybody to have this number in case you have any problem. We are there to help. We are doing awareness. We are doing counseling before getting married. We are doing a lot. We help a lot of people to go through, those who are worthy, to go through Indian. We have all the information that they need so that they can help their kid. And I encourage parents with sickle cell to be strong and love those kids, because most of the time they are abandoned because they tell them after 20 years you are gonna die. It's not true.
And it's
just
not
give
automatically witchcraft.
It's just witchcraft.
It's not automatically
no, it's not. It's not. So I encourage parents. I've been in their shoes. I know what they are going through. I'm giving them courage to keep going. One day we're gonna find a cure, and they're gonna be a happy parent like I am today.
Thanks a lot, Charlotte JJ, and our condolences. You lost your mom.
Thank you. I lost my mom. I just came back from the bury, and she's really happy where she is, and that's just the life that you go. It's a lucky to bury your parents. So I was so grateful towards that situation that God have chosen that, and I'm so happy to be able to bury my mom.
All right. Thanks so much for coming. Safe journey back to the US. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today.